anomalous phenomena.
Unidentified aerial phenomenon.
Who are they? Where are they from? And what is their intent?
All questions that immediately come to mind with the mention of UFOs.
A Pentagon report is detailing a dramatic increase in UFO sightings, more than 350 since 2021. Many of them are explained as being drones, birds, or weather events, but about half of them remain unexplained.
There's a whole fleet of them. Look on the ASA.
Oh my gosh.
They're all going against the wind. The wind's 120 knots from the west. Look at that thing, dude.
This video taken by the Navy showing what he describes as pyramid-shaped UFOs flying over the USS Russell off the San Diego coast in July of 2019. The Pentagon has since confirmed that the video is authentic.
Headline edition, July 8, 1947. The Army Air Forces has announced that a flying disc has been found and is now in the possession of the Army. Army officers say the missile, found sometime last week, has been inspected at Roswell, New Mexico, and sent to Wright Field, Ohio, for further inspection. Late this afternoon, a bulletin from New Mexico suggested that the widely publicized mystery of the flying saucers may soon be solved. Army Air Force officers reported that one of the strange discs had been found and inspected sometime last week. Our correspondents in Los Angeles and Chicago have been in contact with Army officials endeavoring to obtain all possible late information. Joe Wilson reports to us now from Chicago. The Army may be getting to the bottom of all this talk about the so-called flying saucers. As a matter of fact, the 509th Atomic Bomb Group headquarters at Roswell, New Mexico, reports that it has received one of the discs which landed on a ranch outside Roswell. The disc landed at a ranch at Corona, New Mexico, and the rancher turned it over to the Air Force. Rancher W.W. Brazil is the man who discovered the saucer.
There's footage and records of objects in the skies that we don't know exactly what they are.
More people are coming forward with their own sightings.
Videos recorded by U.S. Navy personnel have added a new layer of evidence to the current national debate about UFOs.
Right at that moment, I saw what looked like 5 lights flying in formation in kind of an inverted check mark.
The NASA independent study team did not find any evidence that UAP have an extraterrestrial origin. We don't know what these UAP are.
The mysterious flying objects are still a mystery. NASA will continue investigating them and has appointed a director of UAP research.
Technology that we faced was far superior than anything that we had.
Truth Seekers, I want to welcome you to Roderick Martin's High Strangeness, if you're here for the first time. As always, we like to get you to a point where we tell you your eyes are useless when your mind is blind. First, I want to let you know you could have been any other place tonight, but you chose to be right here. And with that being said, I'm going to serve you. And how I'm going to do that is in a special way. And that's to be the boldest, baffling, belligerent YouTube channel in the world, creating captivating conversations that certainly 100% cause controversy. But in the meantime, I bid you good evening, good morning, good afternoon, wherever you may be in the 24 time zones that this show airs, because we're on freaking YouTube. But there's also a podcast, so I need to start loading that up so you can go over there and find it on Spotify as well. But I'm excited because I think some people need to know, I'm located in that jumbo state. That's my thing. I tell you all the time, because it's the Texas thing, y'all, and this is where those UFOs come out to play. I got a good one for you tonight. Tonight, I'm going to expand your mind. I'm going to open up some things for you. I'm going to lay out a little thing, not to cause a little controversy, but we're going to open it up. So, let's get ready to rumble. We're going to talk about the Great Reset. In a nutshell, the Great Reset refers to a global agenda to monitor and control the world through digital surveillance. We're going to get into that. We're going to talk a little bit about the economic transformation that's already probably happening right before our eyes. We'll get into the health transformation. We'll get into the technological transformation as well as social transformation. And God forbid if we have to discuss the environmental transformation that is happening right now in between our eyes. So get set like I want you to do. I want you to understand that your mind is like a parachute. It only works best when it's open. And tonight I plan to open your mind in so many different ways that I'm not here to start no shit for you. I'm just here to do what I'm going to do, and we're going to talk about it. And we're going to hop right into this because I think it's something that we want to talk about with the quickness. Now, first of all, I'll say that this show is sponsored by LIVEPURE Coffee. They have other products as well. I've talked about it in much. The link is in the description. I want to thank all of you who have already supported the show by buying you some of that good coffee. And in fact, I've been drinking this stuff, and I'm in a little rare form. It's going to give me a lot more little energy, and in a lot of different ways. Okay, and I'm really hyped, and it's really working. And especially when you get permission from the universe that you can go out and do anything you want to do, any kind of way you want. And when you get that kind of permission, then you got energy behind you that's increasing some stuff in all these areas. It's just a wonderful damn thing. You just got to thank the people around you for this. But anyway, I'll put up the ad real quick. I want you to write it down, jot it down. You can go to livepure.com/Roderick. And they have the cream caramel latte. And we're trying to get our first 20 customers because I told them by us being a brand partner, we could do that. And I have the audience to support that. Because if you drink coffee already, and if we can give you something that's better, maybe tasting better, and then also doesn't cost as much as it does at Starbucks, would you give it a shot? And like I said, I would hope that you support, because I'm trying to find better ways than for some of you who are donating through Cash App all the time. If I can give you things that you're already doing and you can support the show that way, because they will support us from the support you give to them, then it just works out. And I'm hoping that I can find the fact that you will see that as well, because it's important. So anyway, we'll talk about that again later within the show. But let's get down into what we call the Great Reset. Now, the plan, for most of you know, if you haven't, this was from what we call the global elites, right? And they was here, or supposedly the plan is to transform society and the economy in wake of the pandemic. And that was supposed to have been the first set of it. But I think there's a lot of things that we'll discuss tonight. It has been happening long before that. In fact, that this plan is in full effect, supposedly rumored, conspiracy-wise, and we will take it to the streets over the next several days. People are saying part of the eclipse is the plan. And, and it all started with the inoculations of everything. So from there. So I want to welcome, like I say, each one of you here. We got a few of you in here tonight, the truth seekers and everything else. All right, so the plan is led by the WEF, and that's the acronym for the World Economic Forum, and that's a nonprofit organization that brings together business leaders, politicians, and other influential figures from around the world. So this is a global effort. And sometimes we tend to think about the term one world order, that may be what people are thinking. And like I said, tonight I want you to expand your thoughts tonight, and not focus on how they're doing this, even though I'm going to give you information. But I want you to expand to the point to asking yourself, why? Why is important? And I've always told you, nothing, how, and all this is never as freaking as important as why. And I don't give a darn what it is. I want you to always focus on why, okay? Also, the Great Reset has been criticized, though. It's been really criticized by some as a power grab by the WEF and its allies. And when I say allies, they are global multinational corporations and idealists that are come together to pull this off. And as it is supposed to be a threat to democracy. We're already knowing what's going on in the EU over there, and the Brexit, I think they're coming out with their own little trying to change money. It's not going to work. We're talking about a global empire compared to that. But yet they can put fear out there. when it comes down to this. However, the WEF argues that the plan is necessary to address the challenges of the 21st century, such as climate change, inequality, and technological disruption. Now, we can look at that and say, okay, that's their plan. Their plan is to level the playing field, or so they say. But if you start looking at what we're going to talk about tonight and all of the things that are already put into motion, I think you will realize at some point, based upon your own decision, of course, that some of this stuff could be a little more nefarious. It could be a little more, it won't pass the smell test, right? And we know how bad that can be. And so at this point, we will look at it that way. So I'll break it down. The pillars, there are 5 pillars that I want you to focus on. And note takers are money makers. And I'm not saying this is about money, but you definitely want to know what's happening here. And, you know, a lot of people don't speak against it because they just may then say. So I do take the challenges of what I'm about to talk about tonight. And maybe I hit something that they just may not want it to be told. And then I'll have to suffer the consequences of that. But the other part of this is there's 5 pillars. So we'll start with the economic transformation. Now, this plan calls for a shift to a more suitable and inclusive economy, which focuses on job creation and social justice. Now, if they are going to go into job creation and social justice, then those two, I can't say run hand in hand, but why most people are looking for financial freedom, would we then want to say that job creation is going to be the part of this high strange plan to create inequality, but yet make new slaves into the system? And that's just your thoughts. You just got to think about it. I'm just throwing it out there. When most people dream is entrepreneurship, is to own your own business, is to have financial freedom. But we do know job, in some cases, the acronym is supposed to be just over broke. And if you have one of those, then you're connected to the system of, you know, what they are, and they only pay you what they think you are worth. That's just me talking. And like I said, you can go wherever you want to go. Now, when we get down to the health transformation, the plan calls for strengthening. They want to do a more strengthening of the global health system, including the increased access to health care and the development of new vaccines and treatments. So let's see how this runs side by side. On one hand, they're telling everybody, we want to create a divine healthcare system like some of these other countries where everything is paid for. But within that, there is the access to health vaccines and different things. What maybe if they get more people where it doesn't cost you to take this stuff, then more people may take it. And then more people may be part of whatever this other plan that they would have once you inoculate it with whatever substance that they want to call that's going to control. I'm just throwing it out there. I'm not saying it. But it's just a thought. It's a conversation that you and I would probably have if we talked on the phone, right? The other part would be technological transformation. Now, we already can tell you that shit is in fine tune. However, the plan calls for the use of technology to address social and environmental challenges, such as the development of renewable energy sources and the creations, once again, of new jobs. Somehow the plan is always to throw the carrot out there to all of us to say we're talking about new jobs, but is there some other intent? Because we just know there's something out there we'll get into in a little bit called AI. And AI ain't bullshit, and it's not creating new jobs. Okay, there is going to be people whose life is going to evolve from the introduction of this particular technology, this advanced technology, right? And it has changed a lot of stuff on the back end from our show, our processes and certain things, the AI assistance. I mean, you know, it will give you anything. It will tell you anything. It's just scary if once they start putting a voice machine on this computer and let it tell you some stuff. It's cool. The other part is the social transformation. Now, this plan is more than just a equitable society. This will focus on reducing inequality and discrimination, supposedly. How is that even going to be possible? I don't know. And where would it be a system where we have diminished inequality and discrimination is gone completely? I don't see the world of that. And I'm not saying that I would wish that wouldn't have happened or can't happen and we will have a better place. But I just don't see that. I don't see there's a plan to get rid of it as a great reset. Yeah, right. Now, the other part of this would be environmental transformation, and we're getting ready to go deep in all of this. Then the plans for the transition to more suitable environmental friendly economy, which focus on reducing carbon emissions and protecting biodiversity. All right, so at that point right now, those are the 5 pillars, and we could now go down the rabbit hole. Sean says, I have a question. Is this a distraction? Is there a bigger thing happening? You are basically, Sean, it's going to be kind of like we were at Jerry Springer and he says, Sean, you are not the father. And somebody's like, just really, I'm just throwing some shit out there. But yes, it's a big ass distraction. Because this is why I tell you to focus 1,000% on how, not how, but the why of things are happening. And when you do this, you'll be able to look past that. So let's dive deep. Let's go deep right now. So the first part we're going to get into is the Pacific policies and changes envisioned in the Great Reset as outlined in some of these little sources. And one right off the bat that I'm going to hit you on is digital surveillance and control. Now, this includes electronic IDs linked to bank accounts, health records, social IDs, and everything else. We already know. You held your phone, your iPhones and everything. I'm using that, is monitored to the letter. You can talk about some stuff right now to somebody else on the phone. Don't dare not talk about taking a cruise or a vacation and watch what happens in about 2 or 3 days or a day. And it's getting faster now. You'll start getting cruise ads, all kinds of stuff, because they're listening to everything. I've had conversations with friends on the phone. We can talk about a specific subject, and next thing you know, those subjects pop up in my reels. They're on point with this stuff. We already know you got traffic cams. We already know you have all of these, stuff. Any kind of way that they want a digital footprint, they can do this. And it's amazing if you can use the technology to benefit yourself. And they're tracking everything. They track everything because data is the new gold. It's not oil, it's not gold, it's not silver, it's data. Data is the gold because with data, you can have predictability, you can do all kinds of crazy shit. They can do enough data and know exactly what you're going to say and do to any situation that you could possibly be in. And they can be prepared for everything just by looking at your data of decisions, things you watch, stuff you like. That's why I don't like shit on these freaking things. Now, I would do it purposely on Instagram if I want to make sure I'm going to receive that type of content. I'll like it on purpose, and then it tells the algorithm, oh, he likes that shit, and then they track it. Now, another part is to abolish capitalism and free enterprise. Yeah, right. And this will replace with the technology known as sustainable development or stakeholder capitalism. And this goes back into the caveman days, where we all are sharecroppers or we all are doing this stuff and we get to get a little part of this. And because and there are some societies out there, everybody, do their portion and we all eat and nobody starves and everybody help each other build their houses and all that stuff. Those are one of the things that we could do. I'll check out some of the chats in just a minute. Moderators, if you were moderating tonight, you're on. You're activated. The other part is centralized of power and wealth. Control of all nations of the world and centralized of all power, wealth to benefit a select few. That is a plan. That is a freaking plan. And I say this because we don't think about the scenarios of life. And I'm saying this to a lot of you that's listening to my voice. There is a plan, and it's getting worse and worse because you can look at it now. Go back and look at the struggles. Go look at the plan, and don't think when it's hard for us or you that it's hard for everybody. There are some people making money. There are some people controlling their lives is on a whole different spectrum, because they're implementing those plans and actions. But on a bigger scale, a grander scale, there's a few people say, let's control the masses. Now, although they probably have been doing that for quite some time, but when you think about it now and you go into a little more detail, it is Captain Obvious that this is what they're trying to do within plain sight. The other part is to alteration of societal norms. Now, this includes sharing economy, restricted access to digital media, social media restrictions, social credit systems. Now, we can see that already with the advancement of TikTok and all that. Our government said, hey, we're going to cancel it because we have access to, other government have access to the power of our people, although we supposedly have the most freest country in the world. But I do get it because that same country who has TikTok won't let their own people use it as much. And they restrict access because they understand the power of what they created. But we can care less. Now, we want it, and it's not to be betterment of the people. Our government is trying to shut it down. No, they want to control it so they can control you because it's something that we're using, and they're going to like, let's get it. Let's grab this thing. But we'll look into that. So I think it's pretty much, let me look into the chat. China's basically, yep. Did y'all know the government has a law on how to affect your solar panels? Okay, that's cool. And because that's free energy, they don't want you to harness the energy of the sun. Yeah, and those are one of the things I think it's pretty much. Now, other part of this is to increase government dependency. Now, the universal basic income is one planned strategy that will create dependency and ensure everyone is poor and unable to threaten the elite's monopoly on power and work. They talked about that in a few elections back. What was his name? Andrew Yang or whatever, that we could do a universal income. And basically what they would do is saying we got enough money that we can just give everybody a check every month, and you don't even have to work. You just get the check because the government is going to take it from one side of the fence and they can just create the money, but then they create the slaves of it right off the bat. There will be a lot of people doing it. There's a lot of people doing it now, when they get down to some areas of government assistance. So, well, why not write a check and say we're just going to give every family $3,000 or $5,000 a month? Now, would that be economic means for people to survive? Who knows? But we're going to get deeper. I'm just laying out some foundation. We're going to get deeper in this shit in a few minutes, especially when we get down to food. Now, the plan aims to centralize and control the food supply by promoting vertical farming, genetic modified crops, and digital food. I mean, now they're saying we can make food. They can make food any kind of way today. It's happening right before your eyes. They're talking about making food. They can create this stuff out of what they call that thing, that printer that they're doing. Health, technology, society. All right, so we done hit on all of those, and we go from there. The economy. So the Global Elite Group is a group of people, so that you know who they are, who believe they are superior to the rest of humanity and they have a right to decide the fate of mankind. Is that true, though? I mean, the need of the many does outweigh the need of the few. I learned that on Dr. Spock on Star Trek when Spock was about to die and Captain Kirk said, let me open up this thing. And he said, no, Captain. He's like, no, you're my friend. I'm going to save you. Forget everybody. They can die. He says, no, the need of the many outweigh the needs of the few. Let me die. However, they don't think it that way. So they believe that they're superior, that they're it. It's always been that. If you go back to conspiracy stuff with former Governor Jesse Ventura, he had a lot of shows talking about the elite. We hear about the elites all the time. The elites building bunkers, or they're preparing for doomsday. The elite do this. They're controlling everything. And the thing about that is we, the people, have more power if we come together, but they got us so freaking distracted with fighting one another to all these different things. It's incredible. Do you know how hard it is to partner with anybody today, regardless how much you got in common, regardless how much of things you could do? It is still hard to partner on premises, whether it's business, whether it's personal, whether it's any projects today. It is so difficult because we're all in the mindset that I want my own. And they know that it's not, but it can happen. But in most cases, walking alone is not a way to create a team to win. But we fight like that on a daily basis. They're also pushing for a technocratic system, which requires extensive surveillance and artificial intelligence-driven technologies to keep us all in check. Go look at it. It's out there every day. I'm not making this stuff up. I'm not saying that you are not part of all of that right now. You know, it's one of those things. Sean says, I really want to partner with somebody. It's really hard. I'm telling you, Sean, I don't give a damn how you perceive it. You can put it out there in some way. And I'm not saying this is for everybody, but it is very difficult to park. See, back in the days, you can be out on a fucking farm road and you stranded and somebody coming along with a fucking horse and a carriage and said, hey, you going south? Yeah, I'm going south. Yeah, if we travel together, we may have a little better security. We can feed, we can fight each other. We can not each other, but fight with each other. People back then would understand that. But now, no, together we stand, divided we fall no longer exists. But it's the way the system is designed. And they've gotten so good at it that they bring it into the households and they create remedies to break partnerships. That could be marriages, relationships, parenting, all this stuff. And it's so divisive, but it's the perfect weapon. And it has been used over and over. It happens in business. It happens in sports. It happens in any place that you want. But they partner all the time. How many times we see companies come together and merge? We hear the word mergers, and then they fire other people. Oh, somebody bought this company. They do it all the time on a bigger level because they play the game different. Now, the WEF, let me look over here. Somebody said love win. People are greedy, and that's why folks don't partner. I'm sure I agree with you, Body Electric, all across the board. And I'm just saying it. I'm just telling y'all. Timothy said, I tell people all the time, greed fucks up everything. And there's no joke. It happens. And then you'll get, and I'm not even going to go that route. We'll get back off of that tonight. The other part of this is that the WF which is the World Economic Forum, is a global organization that promotes stakeholder capitalism, which is a system which corporations are given more power over society and democratic institutions have less power. The WF also supports multi-state partnerships which bring together the private sector, governments, and everything else. See, now, they already got a plan for world dominancy, but one of their criteria is that they know they need partnerships. So they want to create partnerships because they know they can't do it by themselves. But what happens if we all partner as a collective? And I know some of you are like, why are we having this conversation? Baby, let me tell you something, because we thinking about UFOs, we thinking about aliens. That is the bigger picture. Because like recently, News Nation just started talking about Bible. And see, I just had the conversation a couple of days ago. I got a few texts, emails. I got a few people to unsubscribe because he's trying to coordinate the Bible with ufology. And here it is 3 fucking days later, one of the biggest news agencies just did a special on angels and aliens. Go look up. Go look it up right now on YouTube. Congressman Burchett or whatever. And where I'm going with this is they're putting it in main media for a reason, because there is something big happening. But yet my community, I'm going to just use mine, I don't know about yours, they ain't watching that. They don't care. But they're putting it out there. They're making sure everybody's going to be prepared. And they said it right there on the big news. Oh, the Vatican has already said everybody's under one God. I'm telling you, the plan is there. And it's all about the reset. They gotta put it out there, because at this point we're gonna all have one God, and we're all gonna be serving one leaders, and it's gonna be how it's gonna work unless we don't do something about it. So I'm just saying, I'm just telling you. Now the other part is the global elite is pushing for a number of changes. Now here's what they're doing transition to a green economy. Now, I'm not too astute on that, so I don't really know, but I get it. The implication of universal basic income. Once again, I just said that because what that does is if we can just control what everybody gets, we're going to control what you buy, and we're going to control how much you live. If we just say everybody get $5,000 and we cap out what $5,000 can buy, you will never get above. But then if two people who get $5,000 come together, now they got 10,000, and that makes them above the rest, they can do that. And I ain't going to get into relationships. That's all over Instagram when a woman says, I want a man to pay everything. But if you can get $5,000 and I can get $5,000, then together we got 10. No, but he needs to pay all the bills. I'm not going there tonight, y'all. I'm not going there tonight. Don't worry about that. We're not going there. They're also trying to create a cashless society. Now, could they do this? Well, we talked about crypto as being it. They're not. Let me tell you something. Crypto may be it, and they may be going that route, but it's still just as unstable as everything else because we don't really know what to do with it. People are buying it because they're buying it because some people say you can make money buying and selling it. But they still haven't got rid of that freaking dollar, no matter what it is, because that little thing allows them to hide money too. Every country you go to, every war that we're fought, whenever we tackle that, we find our currency hidden over there, not theirs. We find our money machines because the currency over here works, and that is what's happening. I'm just saying. One of the other part of this is, again, development of digital identity. Everything is moving digitally. Your iPhones, retina, fingerprints, banking accounts, cookies. I mean, this thing is on the move, and it's not joking every single day. And so, I want you to be prepared. I'm going to talk about some stuff in a minute in our food situation that you're going to know it, and but I've tried to put a warning out to our people all the time. Now, for those of you who just seeing me for the first time, let me brag a little bit. I'm not here just talking and getting a YouTube channel. I'm doing this because this is my job. I'm growing in what I call a content creator. And make no mistake about it, this is one of the most difficult things you could be doing. Oh, it looks simple, but on the back end, it is not the easiest thing. Number one, you get ridiculed all day. I can't tell you thousands of comments I get. Oh, I'm going to unsubscribe if you say that again. Like I give a, and I do. But really, the threat is you're going to unsubscribe. It's free will. You can go wherever you want. And hopefully I'll replace you with 3 other people that I'm trying to help and I serve because I'm a servant leader. But the whole point of what I'm saying is when you put yourself out here like this, where the comments are the comments and they can freely say something about it, some of you can't take the attacks that some of us get as content creators. Yeah, you might have 2 people talking about you, but wait till you get thousands like I do, hundreds in comments and negative stuff, hundreds. But I can step up to that shit, strong as I can get. So I don't wish this on anybody. But where I'm going with this, though, it is people like myself who cannot be contained in what they want because we're going to speak our voices. But it's also a threat, and that also carries risk when it comes down to this. I could be talking about something solely here and not knowing that one of these things that I could be saying could be one thing that they don't really want you to know. And next thing you know, I don't know. I'm just saying. But I'm here to do what we're doing. But the other part of that is the introduction of new technology, such as blockchain and artificial intelligence. We may see it in being told that blockchain and AI is for our own advancement. It is totally okay. But AI is a learning tool that teaches and learns and it begins to think. So it's no different than it can be manipulated by whatever the source code wanted to do, manipulate the masses. But it is a wonderful tool because I talk to the AI all the time. And like I said, I can't wait till the day until it gets a voice. Once it gets a voice and you can set it for the voice and it talks to you, it's so kind, it's so straightforward. It tells you so much information. I think it's going to replace people in relationships at some point. I would hope not. But if you're a person that you can be replaced by AI, you're doing an awful job. I'm just saying. I'm just throwing it out there. Now let's get into what I think is some of the most important, which I think I've been affected by. You know, I think that when we look at what's going on, we can think about this, but the Great Reset Plan also aimed to control food production and distribution by implementing the following strategies. Now, we've all been already, but let's think about synthetic foods. Now, they're encouraging the consumption of artificial foods created in factories, increasing reliance on patent food products and making people more dependent on corporations. They're doing it right now. They just came out with, what is that thing? Some type of genetic modified chicken. Oh, it's good to eat. We just made it. We made some cells and grew a patty. They grew a chicken patty. Didn't even worry about the eyes, the nose, the ears, the heart, and the feet, and all that stuff. We just gonna grow some patties and cut it up, put a little sauce on it, and you good to go. Because they know they can control. Because the first thing, if they can control how chicken is made, you're not going to be growing it in your own backyard. You're not going to be raising stuff naturally because it no longer exists over time. And then once our young people, and now they become older and new people, new generations, it's going to be normal. The other part is discouraging, just like I said, home food productions. Now, I used to have acres. This is right before I married to Shewa, long time ago. And I have 40, about 100 acres in one time and 40. And I was raising goats. I had my own goats. I had my own little fruit trees. I had a couple of chickens, and I would go out and get my own fresh eggs. And then I had 2 cows. You know, I bought 2 calves at the auctions every year. I did this for 4 years straight, grew them both up, to big old, heifers is what they call them. Took them to the auction, sold both of them, took the money from one. I only took one to the auction, sold it, and then took that money and bought 2 more calves, took the other one and took it to the slaughter and had it beef. Man, we had so much beef, I was giving people food for years. And that's how I was doing it. I was taught by my neighbors who was self-sufficient. They had everything from water ponds to you name it. We're not doing that anymore. I plan on getting back to that someday. And, that's it. But when you start thinking about it, they also making it illegal to grow your own food, claiming homegrown foods are unsafe, restricting rainwater collection. Do you know they're doing that now? Where they got the power to say how much rain fucking water. Now they're already selling us rainwater. We already paying for water for crying out loud, which is coming from the skies and the earth, and it falls over here. And what they're paying you for is the distribution to get it to you. But now you can't even collect rainwater. And we just stand by and we don't say anything about it. Yeah, that's fine. They also consolidating control over our food systems. We're talking about Bill Gates. Let's go with that. I'm a proponent to the whole deal of him buying up every freaking seed on the planet so that he can make sure, and that's great. But he's a proponent of the reset. They're saying he's acquiring a significant amount of farmland across the country, potentially enabling him to control food supply. See, one thing they don't make anymore is land. God is not making no more new land here. He hasn't done it in eons. You can only buy existing land. And when you do, hold the fuck on to it. And then for your families, I talk to you all about the seed stuff, especially when it comes down to patent genetically modified crops, restricting farmers from saving seeds and replanting their own seeds. This is happening. How many times have I told our Go to Preparedness Life member, I was like, buy some seeds. I bought more seeds. Y'all don't know. Y'all don't care about that shit. I tell you, no, you think it's about the money. No, I'm giving you information and service. I promise to God to you, 15, 30 years from now, your children, the ones that you're raising right now, won't be able to grow a fucking carrot because you didn't prepare them for it, because they're taking it. Everything is seedless at the store. It's seedless grapes, seedless oranges, seedless because that means you can't get one and go plant a tree in your yard if now, number one, you ain't even buying property or land. And it's going to be total control. And they're doing it right there. The farmers can't even grow chickens now. Everybody with these chicken contracts, they get babies delivered to them because they don't want them to know how they're bringing the new chickens into the world. And now they got chickens. Now, there's also an issue that these chicken people catching chickens. Now, this is true. And so when they catching chickens to take them to the slaughterhouses, they make sure it's dark because the chickens see them and they run in everywhere, and it's just really dangerous for the employees. But they got so tired of that, they're now breeding chickens with no eyes. So they don't see them coming. Now, Mother Nature has a way, so I'm sure the chicken with no eyes is going to start growing some type of extra perceptional way of footprints and something, hearing something, because Mother Nature does that. But in the time being, they're conquering by saying we're going to raise chicken with no eyes. And then we eat it. And whatever that cell in there creating blindness eventually probably could do whatever. I'm just saying. So I'm saying that you need to do that. And I've said it 100 times because you want to get you some land and do it. So for me, when things change for me here in Dallas, I used to do it. I'll get a property outside of Dallas somewhere about 45 minutes away. You can still get some good old acreage and you got to farm that shit. That's hard work, but that's cool. But get you one with a water well because now you got your own water supply. And then you get you one where you can grow a couple of fruit trees, and then you can just, I'm telling you, it was nothing wrong with going out. I had 7 chickens, and them boogers created more eggs than anything. And I would go out and just get some fresh eggs. Yeah. Then I had little goats, meat goats. I was doing it up. I was in my 40s, and I was like, this is life. And what I do today as a content creator, which meaning pretty soon I can move business anywhere I want because I'm online. So, and that's happening. So I'm going to do that in the future at some point. Yeah, at some point. Now you got chickens. I did a story years ago. It used to take a chicken 6 months to get to a what they call a fryer stage. Now, 6 weeks, if anything. It would take a chicken 6 months naturally to get about this fucking big, okay? Now that chicken grows from here to there in 6 weeks or less. And that thing is huge. And it's so huge it can't even walk. And now I eat the chicken. I'm eating chicken and now I'm huge. You know, it's like what the hell? Obesity. All of that stuff is coming from somewhere. All right? I'm just saying. But make sure you get you some seeds. I've said it, Sean. I've said it. I talked about preparedness bags. I stopped talking really because yeah, it takes people to buy the shit is whatever. But I can go to other websites or go to and their preparedness bags or, you know, just being, we don't even have it no more. We out of stock. Hey, I still got plenty or whatever. But that's okay. But most of us is going to move when disaster happens and not prepare. And we don't need to know, or you do need to know when the disaster strikes and then you try to prepare, it's too fucking late. Period. And I'm talking generational stuff when I say seeds. Seeds last for a long time. And just buying you some and all of that stuff. We had them on the website. I took them down. Because I was like, you know what, forget it. It's just taking too much web space. And why am I talking about it? I just care about me. Let me get me some, and maybe for my kids or the next generations who never met me, but they're going to thank me. They're going to think the hell out of me. Old Grandpa Paul or Uncle Rod, you know, left some seeds hidden. Yeah, he left that. He didn't leave the secret code to Tabasco sauce. No, he didn't leave a family recipe on how to fry food. He left some seeds, which everything is seedless on purpose. That's okay. Y'all can do that all you want. And they don't know how to farm. People don't even know how to go dig a hole and plant shit. They don't know what soil over here and what to put over here because it's out of the norm, period. All right, so let me continue. The Great Reset has several potential implications for privacy and freedom. right off the bat, everyone. Now, when you're talking about increased surveillance, the Great Reset could lead to increased surveillance tracking of individuals online. We already know this shit is happening. Every phone you got is being tracked. Every phone. Everywhere you go is being tracked. You know, oh, you've been here. They know to serve some up. You can go drive down the street to a new restaurant. It's going to pop up on your screen. Hey, do you want to go over and get you some ice cream? It's nearby. You know, they know everything. Now we just get to a point, who cares? Because we'll say this, I ain't doing nothing no way. Well, that's the fucking what they want. They don't want you to do nothing. It's when you do something, it's when you're a threat. It's not when you're not doing nothing. Nobody gives a shit about nobody doing nothing. And nothing to you could be, oh, I'm not committing a crime, but is it a crime until you get caught? I don't know. They doing it every day. They just don't get caught. So nothing is not the attitude. It's not the attitude to have. The other part of this is they're tracking us offline, online. They're collecting that personal data. They can use it. Like I said, they have everything. They know it all. Facebook is known for this part. They're there. You know what I'm saying? They're there when it gets to that, and everything else. You know, like I said earlier, you know, I'm proud, and I don't talk about it a lot, that, you know, when I started this thing a few years ago on Clubhouse and I was just talking, and people used to say, oh, you talk, you got the gift of gab. No, I'm a professional speaker. I get paid to talk. I get fucking paid to talk. Can you believe that? I get paid to talk. So if you got something to say, get paid to talk, you know? So it's okay. And I had other people that will say, don't talk like this, don't say that, or you mispronounce that. It's not that. Who cares? At the end of the day, it's what you say that comes out of your mouth. And if it's going to resonate in some cases. I've had people that call me in and say, oh, I'm trying to build my channel. I'm trying to do that. And then they may say they have something against something I said just that one moment. But yet they can't build an audience themselves, and they don't know the truth. Why? And I could tell them, but that's another part. It's another piece of the puzzle is all I'm saying. But what I am saying is, find me. Go find me on, once again, Fox Tubi. Go find me on Amazon Prime right now. Go find me on Apple TV and TV shows. I'm there right now. Go find me on the History Channel. Yes, I was featured on Ancient Alien. Millions of people. Go find me there. Go find me on Discovery Plus channel. I'm there as well. All these are streaming. That's fine. Go find me on Forbidden Knowledge. I got an 8 TV show series there. I'm in documentaries there. Go find me on Coast to Coast Radio. Go find. You can find me in a whole lot of more TV places. 9 or 10 credits. Go to IBM where all the people in Hollywood are, and you put in Roderick Martin. You're going to see all of my credits. That's okay, but I stand here as humble as I could be. All right, and I could use all of that to my advantage, and I should, and I will. It's just really time, really, to set aside from the other folks that are just talking. But I'm saying to you is that if they're going to control you, they're going to control you about what you say and do. And that is one of the things I don't allow them to do. Otherwise, I wouldn't be here. Let me continue. The other part is going to be the erosion of civil liberties. They're already doing that right now. And the Great Reset could lead to erosion of civil liberties, freedom of speech, assembly of association. And like I said, I'll get into more of this conspiracy. I'm laying it all out. And then the second part of the show, we're going to just hit it hard with reality talk. I'm just going to talk reality to you. What's happening right there, what you see on the news, what you see on TV, or what do we think we hear? All these fucking true things, deep fake shit that's coming. Well, we're going to talk about that in a minute. Because now I just set you the foundation to let you know the 5 pillars of where they're doing this, and it's happening right where you are. Oh, I'm coming on to you people that work from home. I'm going to get to that in a minute too, because that's part of the process. You didn't know it, but I'm going to share it with you. I'm going to share it with you. The other part of that is we'll get into, like I said, I already talked about technology and surveillance and artificial intelligence. I think we may need to go a little more into this AI stuff, because Once again, everybody's AI can help me do this, AI can do that, and we get the small part of fucking AI. We really do. We do not get the major part of AI that people think. That's it. Yeah, we talk about more than just aliens and UFOs. All that shit is concluded. It's together. It's all together. But I will say that AI, artificial intelligence, and machine learning to optimize resource allocations and maximize surveillance. AI is going to replace a lot of people's work except for us right here. AI will never replace what I'm doing. It can't. They're not going to let that happen. Even YouTube, out of all people, is now telling their creators, if you use AI, you need to tell the audience it's not real. Because they already know the human touch is one of the greatest things. I'm not worrying about AI taking my job. It's going to enhance what I do. It makes things a little simple, but it won't be able to replace what I do. So I don't fear it at all. It's going to help me. Now, AI is going to be a tool for me, but it is going to be hell on wheels for some other folks. I guarantee you. And who cares? But that's okay. They're going to come out with, economic whatever, giving everybody a check. You don't have to worry about it. But it's what it is. And I think that it's one of those things that you have to look at. So another part of this is this. We're going to talk about how the Great Reset envisions, as I just said this, the future where individuals are going to be highly dependent on technology, making them vulnerable to manipulation and control. Pretty soon, let me put it this way. I was driving down the street about a month ago, and there was a big-ass 18-wheeler. You know how big those are. Y'all seen them, right? They got 18 wheels. That's why they call them 18-wheelers, and they're big-ass trucks. And it was looking all weird. It was a black truck pulling, whatever, and it had all these fucking little antennas and shit on it. It's like a bunch of them. And the windows was just black as all get out. And I was like, who the fuck is driving that? Until I realized wasn't nobody driving it. It was a 18-wheeler being driven autonomously. You mean tell me they're getting ready to put truckers out of business that they wanted to? Ford Motor Company, go look it up, Google it right now, said in the next few years, they're building new cars, listen to me closely, that when you miss your payment, it's going to drive itself back to the repo place. The repo man, the nastiest folks out there, is going to be out of work. I call them nasty because I've had a repo before and I don't like it. But I'm saying, I'm sure there's some good individuals. But the whole point I'm saying is they are making a car. I'm telling you, you can go. I'll Google it in a minute and put it up on the screen. Ford is making a car when you miss your fucking payment, it's going to crank itself up and leave your ass. And they ain't got to call the repo. The car's going to do it. The car's going to know your business. How fucking real is that? You get in the car and the car says, well, you haven't paid for me yet. And you said, no, you crank up, I got the keys. Keys don't even matter no more. The car's mad. It turn around and go back. I'm going to put a Google right while we talking, right up here. I'm going to see if I can Google. Yeah. Ford cars repo themselves. Look at that. Let me put this on. Look at it on the screen, y'all. Let me turn this thing. I'm going to show y'all something right now. This is how, I'm not the only one. Okay, I'm going to put something on the screen. Y'all pay attention right here. Look. You see that? I'm typing Google. Ford cars repossessing themselves. Everybody already own it, but y'all, people putting that shit in. Ford has eyes on having cars to repossess themselves. All right. Can y'all hear that? Oh. So y'all can't hear that. All right. So basically he says what happens when a car decides to repo itself and is going to go back there. I'm not sure why it didn't pop up, but well, anyway, you can go find it yourself. That's not a problem. And maybe I heard it, but you didn't hear it. So I'll get out of it. All right. So basically, he was just saying what happens when you got your car is going to repo itself. All right. So that's fine. And okay, I know some of you say you got your own car, you're paying for it. That's cool. That you get your cash car. Yes, that's fine. Technology is getting better. That's cool. But the whole point I'm saying is they are, putting stuff together to where AI is doing its own thing. And yet we're going to sit here. Could we fight about it? Could we tell them, hey, don't put no fucking car that, and you get ready to go buy the car. Now I'm going to tell you the power of it. You can go and demand you take the shit out of my car. Yeah, you pay for it. You pay for it cash. We won't put it in. But they already know. Why would they make millions of cars that way? Because they know millions of people is going to do that. It also, now here's one of the things let me get into that I think is really important. All right, so let's go with this right here. Somebody said I can put my email in here and share it for you, Kaleo, but I don't want to be rude in the chat. That's why I'm asking first. You want to put your email address? Or for somebody to do what? Share? All right, so let me look and see what's going on real quick. Y'all hang on a second. All right, listen to what I'm getting ready to go here now. How many of you work from home? How many of you have a remote job right now? And if you don't know that's part of the Great Reset. Yeah, it really is. I'm coming at y'all tonight. So put in the chat, how many of you work from home? Who is that? Who did I put out there? I'm sorry. Let me put this on the screen because maybe I didn't know. I didn't put nobody nowhere. Why are you putting him out there at Roderick Martin? They had their own conversation going. Oh, I don't know. Oh, is that like somebody rapping or something? Y'all finally making a partnership and shit? All right. I'm going to be like Kevin Samuels. I got 8 people married this year. All right, fuck it. Yes. Whatever y'all talking about. Me and the moon. She's talking about, anyway, we'll get from that. But how many of y'all work from home? How many of y'all work from home? So let's get into, I'm going to tell you that's part of remote work and digital nomads. The lifestyle aligns with the Great Reset agenda to erode individual autonomy by increasing reliance on technology and reducing physical interaction. Do y'all know that? Do you know that working at home is designed for the Great Reset? That's why they did it. Now, some of these employees are trying to get people back into work, but they work, they love it. And the reason by this is, number one, they're going to get people increased resilience on technology. See, remote work and digital nomad lifestyles, requires an extensive use of technology such as computers, smartphone, video conferencing software. Now, the increased reliance on technology can lead to a decrease to face-to-face interactions and greater reliance on digital platforms and communications and collaboration. Have you ever known somebody work from home that you can't even fucking FaceTime these folks? Because they're so conditioned with the Great Reset that they don't know how to interact anymore. They don't. And it's crazy. I'm telling you. Start trying to deal with the kids. When the kids was home from school during that pandemic and they no longer had social skills because they didn't go to school, they didn't meet other kids. It's all was perfect. It's all perfect. I'm telling you. See, the Great Reset is to reduce physical interaction. And I think it's a great way, to make people, I'm telling you, it could make, I'm not going to lie to you. There was two things was happening. We either had a baby explosion back then when the pandemic, but then we had more people start divorcing that was working from home because they was there with their spouses, and all of a sudden they realized they didn't like the partner they was with. They was like, we've spent too much fucking time together. I really don't like this person. And on the flip side, you got people who don't want to have sex anymore. They don't want to do anything for years and years. They just lose the whole interaction because it's designed that way. At least when you went to work, you play with your coworkers and shit, right? But I'm telling you, it's a plan. All of it is a plan. It's a real big plan. The other part of this is, once again, when you reduce physical interaction between individuals, which can lead to a decrease in social connections and a greater sense of isolation. This reduced physical interaction can also make it more difficult for individuals to build relationships and establish trust. I'm coming at y'all tonight. I'm telling you, I'm coming at y'all tonight. Because it is the truth. And I don't let this out because I have the intelligence to know, and you might be friends with me. Some of y'all may be friends with me, and I try to, coach you through it. But that's okay. Because I'm here as a content creator. I love talking. I love interaction. I love having a relationship with people. I don't mind y'all talking about my ass in the comments. And after the videos, I go over to Billy, which get 30, 50,000. You ought to see the fucking negative content. But there's some great ones. There's some good ones too. But the ones that stand out are the ones that try to affect me and all of this stuff. And they'll say, oh, why is he here? Or there he go again. I hate seeing this guy. Every time I come, I hate seeing this guy. But yet their ass is there every week after week after week. I love it. That's why I tell you, if you're here to hate on me, you're really a fan. But what I do know is with the Great Reset is when they say we're going to separate people and isolate them in their homes, we're going to make you work from home, we're going to do this, and then we're going to gradually desensitize your sensitivity of building relationships and trust because now you're in this thing. And they build this stuff. It's really real. It's real. I have a test case. I really have a test case. I could give y'all the statistics of it. Right now, I'm in a real live life experience. Right now. I really am. I don't work for the people, but I really have a live test case of what I'm talking about. True story. Y'all get that later. All right, so. But I'm just saying that when they do this and then the erosion of individual autonomy kicks in, then it gets real. The increase of reliance on technology, reduced physical interaction associated with remote work, digital nomad lifestyles can lead to erosion of individual autonomy. This is because individuals may become more dependent on technology and less to make decisions independently. And additionally, I'm not lying, physical interactions may be whatever from there. It's okay. My life is a test case. I'm just saying. I say that because I got friends that work from home, and I just be talking like, hey. Yeah, so it's all good. But I didn't know. Didn't a lot of y'all say y'all work from home, or y'all don't? Or y'all do? Okay. All right, so, let me get the camera to focus back here. Hands, focus, camera, focus. All right, so it allows focus. It's focusing back there now. So I have to raise my hands to the camera. See what happened? It focused back on me now. All right, so somebody said I'm talking trash. Why is my camera not focusing where it's supposed to do? Okay, there we go. I got to keep looking at this thing. Now, another part of this is to say, let me go back here. We already talked about the food supply. We talked about the interaction can make people more difficult as individuals. And we talked about the food future in jeopardy, including corporate control, GMOs, synthetic food productions, corporations dominating the sector and all of that stuff. And then, of course, we have scientific concerns of it all, okay? Some of my camera and racist. Yeah, it's just doing this thing. when I look down, it actually has what is called a face detect, right? So you have to, I'm covering up that alien face, right? Y'all see that? And then it'll, when I look at the camera, then it'll know it needs to focus on me. But that's fine. It's doing its thing. All right, so we're going to, at this point, I'm going to, I'll change it later. So it's focusing on the backside. Unless it's tired of looking at my ass, it's probably like, hey, I'm tired of looking at this dude. And then it's going to go that route. All right, genetic engineering foods. I'm going to top on that a little bit, and then I'm going to take us into conversation. Okay. I'll end part of the conversation with a few things that we're going to talk about. But I do talk about some of the risk that happens when it gets down to obesity. I'm witnessing that. So yes, it is. AI is hacking my camera and it's trying to shut me down. Probably so, and that's what it's doing, which has never really done this before, but I already know what's happening. And so for some odd reason, it's reversing its focus. So it's saying I'm going to focus back there. Now, I can always remedy that. I can bag all the way up, and me in this background becomes one, and then it stops that. But we'll figure it out. We're not going to worry about that too much. Yeah. So I will do something else later here in 1 second. All right. So as I get ready to bring all of this home a little bit, is to just kind of say what we're talking about here. And health is one of the most important parts of our lives when it comes down to what is going to be going on with this great reset. So according to sources, there's just threats out there. I want you to understand what we're talking about. And this was just a conversation I just really wanted to have with most of you, okay? And pretty much. I'll bring my word of wisdom in here in just a second and see how we could go with that. So at this time, I want to say it was a plum, pleasing pleasure as well as a privilege serving you tonight with information, and say that once again, I love all of you. I really do. I love what I do, and I love you as much as anything else. And to my haters, if you can hate me, you don't know me, but I can love you without ever meeting you, and I don't want to meet you. But at the end of the day, if you're here all the time, you're a fan. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. Make sure you hit and post the like button and everything else. We'll be back here Friday, which is Freaky Friday, but we will have a conversation for the first hour and a half. And then we will get to that. If you want to support the show tonight, I haven't been begging, I haven't asked for anything, but there it is right there. It's the cash out. $ at Why the Big Secret. I would love to have your contribution. This is a community supported channel. But as always, I try to make sure that I'm going to put these products and services from our brand sponsors, which is the coffee. And I think you all drink coffee. But on that website, they have a lot of other products and stuff. I'm a brand partner, and I would love for you to look and see if it's something you're already buying out there, but if it's a better quality, support. Definitely support. But in the meantime, I hope you got value once again out of this conversation, because, although we are known in our DNA as extraterrestrials and aliens, and those conversations is what it is, then we kind of look for that at the end of the day, pretty much. But I will say that I want to let you know that there is a push for the narrative of these aliens. There's a push in the narrative of religion. And I think there's a plan to make sure that people are softened the blow of what's to come. And I will make sure I keep our community informed that by all means necessary to what is happening and what is going to happen. So you want to stay tuned, spread the word, get other people to do that. A couple of weeks, we're going to have our first Project Black. Michael Carter, I'll have Daryl, a couple of people on, and we're going to be really getting into the community of this thing. So I definitely want you to be ready for that by all means necessary. And just know, once again, there is love. So, with that being said, we're going. You all are grown-ups. And I'm going to tell you, you don't have to go to bed tonight. But one of the things for certain, your ass can't stay here because we're going to close it out. All right, let's give a shout out to Low Key. Shallow Lords is in the house. Midnight was in the house. Peaceful was in the house. Me and the Moon was in the house. Nature was in the house. Terrain was in the house with a Bali Electric Supplement. Khalid was in the house today with us as well. Rainbow Light Warrior Reader was in the house. Seagrave, Diana, which is the godmother of the channel. Charles is in the house. You already know who that is. And we have Sean in the house. I'm just going down, Scrin and Netta. And if I see you, charge it to the heart, not the mind. And let that be it. All right, good night.
Why did Ruby shoot Oswald? Was there a conspiracy?
In a world shrouded in darkness and obscured by deception from the big secret keepers, a burning question ignites in the hearts and minds of truth seekers. Why? Let's dive into the abyss of the unknown. Challenge the limits of our understanding.
This bizarre sequence of double killings raised great questions. Who actually fired the shot that killed Kennedy?
Pierce the veil of secrecy.
Cattle found dead and the manner of their deaths are a real mystery.
Anyone who is concerned about lead in the drinking water in Flint.
And venture into the realm of conspiracies and extraterrestrial evidence.
A huge explosion now, raining debris on all of us. We better get out of the way.
Let us consider the question, why the big secret?